Hey y'all, how you doing? Okay, this is for everybody who is interested in these older Dodge trucks. Okay, 72 to 93. That was the production run on these. So 21-year production run. Quite a long time. Um, Now let's clear up a couple of things right off the bat. One, a lot of people thinks that there's some folks that think that the 72 to 7 to 80 model trucks are entirely different than these. They're not really. There was this styling update on these that got you these extra creases here in the sheet metal, but overall, there's not a whole lot of changes, especially in the frames. Okay, now basically all of these changes I'm going to be talking to you about today is going to be involved and centered completely just around the frame and the suspension. Okay, it's not going to have anything to do with like your drivetrain, the engine, or anything else. It's just going to be about making the truck handle better and drive better and be just a better all around kind of vehicle. And honestly, when you stop and think about it, that's a way smarter way to do things than to have it be hyper focused on one area or another. Here where I live at, there is a lot of there's not a whole lot of straight roads. There's a lot of curvy roads. There's a lot of mountainous roads. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to live here and to have your vehicle be something that's really great on a flat, straight road and then pretty awful in a curve. So what I did on this truck is I went through and I made a whole series of changes just to the suspension. I didn't like reinvent the wheel, okay? And I didn't go the latest trick of the week either. I went with stuff that was proven, stuff that made sense. I'm gonna start off with something really, and all of this stuff is also all of this stuff is very inexpensive, easy to reproduce, and just about anybody can do it. Okay, even if you don't have a whole lot of tools or equipment or anything like that. Okay, and you can look around in my shop. I don't have a lathe. I don't even have a drill press. Okay, so there you go. First of all, these braces right here. You'll notice there's a factory brace right down there. I added these two extra braces here on the frame. Reason being, the steering gearbox tends to uh, make this frame rail twist a little bit too much for my liking, and I added these um, about more than 10 years ago, and they have been excellent. Over here on this side, I was only able to add one because of the radiator hose being in the way, the lower hose. So you can see that one has done a really good job too. But we don't have the steering gearbox over here, so don't have as much need for two of them over here. Um, okay, now the second change I'm going to show you, and third, is underneath. So we're going to have to go underneath. Okay, so here we go. Here's the other changes. All right, let's see. Firstly is the sway bar. You can see my sway bar bushings are getting worn. I'm going to have to replace them. But this truck did not come with a sway bar. I got this off of another Dodge truck. And so there you go. However, I did add these uh, these end links here. I did add the end links, and I added just a regular sway bar bushing right there rather than that oval or the round sway bar bushing. And I used those biscuit bushings down there on the lower portion. Those are just polyurethane. I'm probably going to get polyurethane for these and these. However, being that even though they're not polyurethane, these did make a difference. Okay? So, that's another change. Another simple change was my strut rod bushings are polyurethane. And that helped out too. Okay, so you can also see that bottom brace. These aren't real thick, heavy pieces of metal, but they actually did help. So, and they just run over here and they bolt to this cross member. See, here's one of them right here. Bolts to the cross member right there. I think that one's worked its way loose. I'm gonna have to tighten that one up just a little bit. But did make a difference. Does make a difference. So, also this truck has a lot of miles on it, like 354,000. So, as you can see, this is not some show queen. This is something I daily drive. So this stuff is stuff that is proven. Oh, let me show you something else too. This bracket right here, I made this. This is just a regular sway bar. This is the regular sway bar part right here, okay? And then I just got these bushings, which they're gonna have to be changed out. You know, I think they're polyurethane as well. They're just getting worn though. As you can see, these are polyurethane and they're just getting worn too, so they're gonna have to be changed out very soon. But anyway, I got all of these. I made this plate right here myself. It's just a flat plate of steel. Traced out the holes, drilled them, and then cut them. And then the bolt that goes through here, it just goes inside there, and that bushing's got a little, I cut a little recess into the bushing to accommodate the bolt head. That's it. If you have a welder, you could probably weld the bolt to this. So just something to keep in mind. Okay. Oh, another change. It doesn't look like it right now, but those shocks aren't all that old. Yeah, they're not that old, those shocks aren't. And they are gas. They're Monroe gas shocks. They're some of the better ones. They're not like the cheapest stuff around, but they're not the most expensive either. Basically everything I do, I have to do on a budget, and so that leaves me doing stuff pretty inexpensively and not reinventing the wheel. You'll notice like the control arms are in their stock locations. There's no like tubular control arms. There's nothing like that. Okay. And nothing's been lowered here either. This is all stock ride height too. So, however, that will change. It is going to get lowered. So for those of you getting disappointed by that, hey, go get your own. You build yours your way. Okay? All right. Now, on to the rear end. Now, you can use the gas shocks on the back too. I've done that, and they work out really well. However, for me, I do some towing with this truck also, and another big change was using air shocks. I know, a lot of people are like, what, really? But honestly, see right there's one of them right there, and they did help, okay? So, yeah, these has the stock leaves, stock amount of leaves on this. So when I'm towing, I do air up or hauling something heavy, I do air up the air shocks. They do help a little bit. Now, I probably will go to airbags later on, but that's something I'm going to have to do a little bit at a time. And I will be going to like a lowering shackle in the rear too. So there you go. The other change is these right here. I went to a 16-inch wheel. 16-inch wheel. That's a Mickey Thompson wheel. As you can see right there's the Mickey Thompson logo, MT, M/T. And I went to a 16-inch tire. And I am using this, it's a 255/65/16, and let's see, let's see, my tread wear rating. Trying to find that here real quick. I'm not seeing it anywhere real quick. The tread wear rating on these is pretty low, so they don't last a long time. But something to keep in mind about tires, and I don't care what you're buying tires for, just keep this in mind. That higher tread wear rating number, that means the tire's going to, of course, last longer, but it's also not going to grip as well either. All right, so just something to be aware of. So let's say, a 700, tread wear rating is going to last longer than a 400. However, conversely, the 700 tread wear rating tire isn't going to the 700 tread wear rating tire isn't going to grip as well as the 400. So something to keep in mind. Okay, if you have, if you want to use a tire like this tire I think has under 400 tread wear rating. I could be wrong about that. These are the General Grabber UHP, and they do a really nice job. I love these tires, and so just something to keep in mind. Okay. Now this wheel here got polished last night, so that's why it looks that way. That's why the tire looks that way. I'll get that polish off the tire here probably today. But I just wanted to put this little video out for anybody, who's like me, is just crazy about these trucks and, wants to preserve them and make them better and, that sort of stuff. And, these changes will allow you to make them better on a budget, but it also allows you to make them better, allows you to make them better without reinventing the wheel too, which is what I like really well. Because to me, this suspension system on here is actually pretty darn good. I mean, I don't have an issue with it. So, I mean, some people are like, well, it doesn't have this and it doesn't have that, and it was designed and it was probably designed in the late 60s, but I drive this truck. I've driven this truck everywhere. I mean, I'll show you. Yeah, you see that odometer reading? 355 173. Yeah, 355 173. So, yeah, and that's actual real. I've owned this truck since 1996. So, I've driven it everywhere. I've dailied it for more than 20 years. So, take care of them. They last. Okay. Oh, one more little trick. Synthetic grease. Use it, and I'll tell you what, you won't regret it. Ever. All right. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless. Oh, I forgot. If you got any questions, comments, ideas, anything, just message me. I'll be glad to answer anything you got.